Okay, picture this. A West Indian night, bathed in moonlight. Sounds almost idyllic, right? Shimmering creek, waves on the beach. But this beautiful scene, it's actually the backdrop for something much darker. A secret meeting, whispers of treachery.
Oh.
It's really dramatic. And that's exactly where we're jumping in today. We're doing a deep dive into Zulmiera's treachery and the Carib plot using some really vivid excerpts. It's more than just a history lesson. It pulls you right into this tense moment.
Absolutely. And our mission really is to unpack all the layers of this encounter. We want to get into the characters' motivations, their secrets, and figure out the potential fallout from their hidden plans. What's fascinating here is how quickly that idyllic setting just evaporates, giving way to these deep secrets. It really forces you to think about what it means to understand these complex, tangled stories.
So yeah, under this gorgeous moonlight, the scene is set. You have this stately figure wrapped in a dark mantle, slipping out from behind lime and coffee trees, moving very cautiously, almost ghost-like. They reach the edge of this grove, and then a single note from a small gittern, it's like a little lute, cuts through the night. A signal.
The signal, exactly.
And boom, out comes this young man, bounding forward, saying, "Zulmiera, dearest Zulmiera, how long thou hast stayed tonight."
This is Rafa de Mirafield. And the source goes to town describing him, doesn't it? Calls him a Saxon origin type, fair skin, blue eyes, long auburn hair.
Oh yeah, the description is incredibly detailed.
Right. A slight mustache, the superb style of dress, murrey-colored velvet doublet slashed with white satin, lace, diamond studs, and this Toledo sword.
With a solid gold hilt, sparkling with diamonds, no less.
It just screams wealth and, well, royalist allegiance, doesn't it? He's meant to cut a striking figure. He really does. And that description, it's not just fluff. It immediately flags him as a royalist, setting up this contrast with whatever Zulmiera's game is. So when Rafa complains she's late, her first response is, kind of cutting, right? An ironical tone, a slight look of scorn when she mentions her mistress.
Yeah, that's jarring.
But then, in the next breath, she's pouring her heart out, calling him her mate, her stars, where she reads her destiny.
That switch is so fast.
It is, and it feels less like just a mood swing and more like the core of her conflict, She's caught between real feelings for him and this deep resentment about her position in society. It's almost a survival tactic.
And Arafe seems totally oblivious to this inner turmoil. He just takes her hand and launches into his own news, tells her about his family background.
Right, the staunch royalist history.
His father died at Naseby, fading for Charles I, his lawful sovereign. Then his widowed mother fled England, ended up in Antigua with his uncle.
An uncle who got his land grant alongside Sir Thomas Warner from Charles III himself.
Exactly. And Rafe absolutely despises the current governor, calls them a king-killing, canting Puritan. Strong words for the time.
Very strong. King-killing referring to Charles I's execution, and canting implies that sort of hypocritical religious talk.
He spills all this because he's just told his mother they're engaged, and he plans to formally propose to Zulmiera tomorrow, right there at the governor's house. He's still hoping King Charles II will come back so they can visit England.
And Rafe's story really highlights this clash between, personal lives and huge political shifts. His whole identity is tied up in this royalist cause. Remember, Antigua held out for the king.
Oh, right. You mentioned that before. Cromwell Old Noll had to send Sir George Ayscue to bring the island back into line in 1651.
Exactly. Because it stood out for its lawful sovereign, as the source puts it, a bit sarcastically perhaps. So Rafe's family history, his future plans, it's all deeply embedded in this political struggle.
Okay, but just as Rafe is painting this picture of their future together, Zulmiera's reaction, it just changes everything. You feel the mood shift instantly.
Yeah, it gets dark fast.
She says, "Oh, Raf.
Yeah.
Had I known this, but even 10 days agone, how much might we all have been spared?" And then she sort of mutters to herself.
Almost unconsciously, yeah.
But then to be a queen, and Raf, they promised that, or I would never have consented, to be a king, suddenly you realize there's some kind of massive secret deal she's made.
This is the pivot point, absolutely. She talks about this deed she's done, something she now fears might dash the cook of happiness from her lips.
What is the deed exactly?
Well, she spells it out. Her own high spirit, spurred on by scornful usage, has led her to promise, basically, to betray the household, to open the doors, to give entrance to the enemy, and to lull their fears. It's treachery from the inside. She's letting attackers in. This isn't just internal conflict anymore. It's action. It's betrayal fueled by ambition and resentment.
Wow, okay. But then, despite confessing this massive betrayal, she makes this really strange plea about Lady Bridget, the governor's daughter.
Yeah, it's confusing, isn't it?
She insists Bridget won't be ashamed to love the despised, the scorned Zulmiera, and tells Rafe to guard Bridget like a sister. Says, Bridget is the person next to yourself I love most on earth.
It's such a contradiction. On one hand, plotting destruction; on the other, expressing deep affection and concern for someone in the household she's betraying.
Does that make her seem more human or just more complicatedly devious?
I think it humanizes her, stops her being just a cardboard villain, but it also shows the chaos of her choices, maybe a tragic flaw. It doesn't excuse the treachery, but it adds layers.
And the tension just skyrockets because she promises to tell Raquel tomorrow, which means the danger is immediate, right? It's happening before that conversation.
Exactly. That promise to tell all tomorrow, it's a classic way to build suspense, but it also just underlines how naive Rafe is. Zulmiera's on this dangerous edge, holding a secret that could destroy him, and he has no idea. He's just lost in his romantic view of things.
So Rafe leaves, totally unaware. And the moment he's gone, the atmosphere changes again. Zulmiera is about to give some kind of signal, but then this figure appears. Quanaboa, the dreaded Carib chief. And the description is intense. Almost 7 feet tall, body painted hideously.
Face scarred, long black hair matted with, what was it? Copper, brass buttons, parrot feathers.
Yeah, and that string of human teeth on his chest against his dark skin. A melancholy memento, the text says. And he's got this huge naked broadsword.
The description is clearly meant to make him seem terrifying, almost monstrous from that European perspective, a symbol of the threat they perceived.
He immediately complains she's late, right?
Yeah.
Something about the boyes.
Yeah, the boy is a Carib priest or shaman figure. Quanabo is worried the timing set by the boy is off, that the charm may be broken. It adds this ritualistic spiritual layer to their plan.
He doesn't seem to trust her much either.
Not really. He accuses her of falling from the faith of thy fathers, says she's lived too long with the Christians. It shows the cultural friction even within their alliance.
Then Quanaboa lays out the plan. Attack the governor's house. When?
About this time tomorrow night. And Zulmiera's job is crucial.
Right, to get rid of the bullets. Draw from their weapons those little round stones which kills so many of us, as he puts it, to basically disarm the defenders.
He also mentions another chief, Guacanagari, joining with more men and a canoe hidden in Bat's Cave.
Okay, so the plan is set. But Zulmiera tries one last time to protect Bridget and Rafe.
She does. She asks Quanaboa to ensure their safety, the daughter of the governor, and the fair youth.
And Quanaboa agrees. Sort of.
He agrees, yeah. Tells her to give the orders to Guacanagari herself at the serious assembly and dance in the cave tomorrow night. But the text points out this very sinister expression on his face when he mentions Guacanagari might take a fancy to them.
Yeah.
Zulmiera doesn't see it.
Oh, it's chilling.
It really is. It starkly contrasts Zulmiera's perhaps naive attempts to protect them with the brutal reality of who she's allied with. Heavy foreshadowing there.
And that sinister look pays off immediately after she leaves. Quanaboa just collapses on the ground, laughing this horrible, shrill laugh.
Mocking the whole idea. The haughty beauty thinks that a people who have scarcely known control will bend their shoulders to the dominion of a girl and a white-faced boy.
He completely dismisses the idea of Rafe being king.
Yeah.
Compares it to wild kites choosing a hummingbird as their king.
He makes it clear Zulmiera herself is just my prize to him. And as for Rafe,
yeah, what's his plan for Rafe?
his race is almost run. Quanaboa plans to very shortly get rid of the youngster, says he'll make a capital sacrifice to Old Maboya, the supreme Carib deity.
A sacrifice. Wow.
And then adds that truly gruesome line, "White men eat better than red people, it can't be denied."
Oops.
That line is brutal. It's this raw statement of power, flipping the colonial script, turning the colonizer into prey. It just obliterates any idea of a genuine alliance and shows Quanaboa's utterly ruthless, self-serving agenda. He has zero intention of honoring any part of Zulmiera's plan for Rafe.
So what we've really peeled back here is this incredibly tangled web. You've got deception, raw ambition, love, betrayal, all crashing together.
Definitely. Zulmiera's making this desperate gamble, maybe partly for justice as she sees it, partly for power.
While Rafe is just blissfully unaware, caught up in his love story.
And Quanaboa is playing his own brutal game, ready to betray his supposed ally instantly.
All set against this backdrop of colonial war, where personal lives and huge political forces are just colliding violently.
Yeah, this deep dive really shows how many ways you can read this text, doesn't it? There's romance, politics, cultural clashes, personal sacrifice. It hammers home how, even when people seem to be working together, their real motives can be completely different. And that divergence leads to, well, often tragic and unforeseen results for everyone involved.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What's actually going to happen when these paths finally cross for real? When all these hidden motives come out into the open? And maybe, how much control do we ever really have over our own fate when these huge, complex plots are unfolding around us, and the people we trust might have secrets we can't even imagine?